I meet lots of interesting people who I want to help, and the best way for me to give back is to quickly share who they're helping professionally and who they wish they could privately or philanthropically help more. And I help you by keeping the interviews short and sweet. People in my circle can pick and choose who to directly and indirectly help with their business or charitable contributions. Who are you helping? Don't forget to subscribe or follow me on YouTube and TikTok so that they start paying me to do more interviews like these. Let's get started. Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is for Who Are You Helping? Today, I'm joined with Rama. How you doing, Rama?
Dan, I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on today.
All right, awesome. I caught a new slang the other day. Somebody, instead of referring to the pandemic, called it the panorama. I kind of like that. And it says whenever you add Rama at the end, even though yours is more like a Rama, it sounds like a party or a celebration or something. It's a fantastic thing, I think, anyway.
Oh, absolutely. There's a skaterama growing up. There's a, wow, this really isn't a party, but there's a signorama right down the road from my office. They do professional signage. But yeah, absolutely.
It's got your name right on it. But you in the audience, that's not why you came here. Here's what's going on here. So I'm a commercial real estate investor and I'm constantly interviewing commercial real estate investors. But in order to reach more of them, I end up meeting people who are people of interest. Maybe they're facilitators for commercial real estate deals. Maybe they're just people who've got something else going on and they caught my eye and I want to be able to help them. So I have them onto the show and I ask them, who do you help professionally? How can people help you? And then how do they reach out? So, but first, it's very important to be able to introduce yourself effectively. So, Rama, can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Absolutely. My name is Rama Gupta. I'm with Capnick Insurance Group. We're the largest privately held brokerage in the state of Michigan. I came to be sitting here today because I found myself in a specialization of commercial real estate, particularly apartments and ground up development. We have a very good work product and service, and it's something that I found that I believe in and I'm very passionate about. So inadvertently, I've had the opportunity to sit across the table from a lot of really smart people and learn from them. And I was like, wow, real estate seems like this genius idea that I should probably become more involved in. So I do have a small portfolio of single family homes, and it's a great launch pad, but they are a little bit of a headache sometimes, just due to self management. So some of it might be self imposed. So that's who I am.
That's a beautiful thing. And I used to work for a single family firm and I'm on the tech side. So, all I was looking for is this scalable? And I don't think it is. You're making enormous investments depending on a single revenue stream, as opposed to, a commercial property where you're hedging your bets and you're pooling your resources with people who have way more of them than you. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking whoever you are. You can guarantee you're working with some people who are worth more than you, but financially anyway. So, first question is, who do you help professionally? And you alluded to some of that already, but there's actually a two-pronged part about who you help professionally. One is like, what exactly do you do for them? But the other one is like, what's their avatar? How can you describe them? And in real estate, we found that most people who make the jump into real estate and get that training and whatnot, they're usually like in their 50s. They're usually male. They're often white. Okay, and so that's an example of an avatar, but none of those details have to be part of your avatar. Like, the age is probably a part, but like race and gender probably isn't. So who do you help professionally? I'll let you take it in whatever direction you want. Go ahead.
That's a really good question. So what you initially described, I was like, are you describing the insurance industry? White, over 50, male? Um, so it's funny you asked that question because when I'm thinking back, what do most of my clients look like? Most of them are in their late 20s, mid 30s, or early 40s.
Hmm.
And so it's a little bit different, but these are all people that have come into the game in the last 5 to 7 years.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying they're smart for getting in early, but I guess they kind of look and feel like me.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Good
and
stuff.
most are, and in fact, all I think except for one are male.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I help owners, operators, developers understand manage and mitigate their risk, and also find creative ways to increase their NOI, which ultimately is, that's what drives the value. So I
Right.
tie my work to how it impacts their business.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. And just you in the audience, if you don't know commercial real estate that well, the way it works is that if you increase your NOI, in other words, your net operating income, if your asset is making more money, it actually makes a much bigger impact than it seems just from the outset. See, some people might go, it's like, okay, so this person has a property that's worth like $10 million or something. Why do they care about $7.50 a month? And the reason is because it's multiplied by the cap rate, like the inverse of the cap rate. So, like a $10 savings can raise the value, like on a monthly basis, it can raise the value like by even sometimes it'll be like 4 or 5 figures, just these little teeny tiny expenses. So they balloon big time. You can get like 20 times as much as your expense back in your actual valuation. And then once you end up refinancing or something like that, that change in the valuation, you get to keep it tax free. And ain't that something special? But
Yeah, and
anyway,
I think the rough napkin math is for every dollar of NOI, the NOI increases, it's about $18 return in value.
right, right. So that's at a little shy of a 5% cap rate, which is, like that's pretty standard outside of, like major spots like Miami or like New York or, Los Angeles, like the better parts and whatnot. But anyway, so who do you wish you could help more? For you in the audience, this question, it's supposed to get an idea for us to know who are we indirectly helping when we choose the professional that I have as my guest. So Rama, what are your indirect motivations? Who do you wish you could help more?
So I find fulfillment out of bringing good solutions to the table or solving problems. And so a lot of times, so the sophisticated, experienced operators or owners, they've got it down. They have all aspects of business. There might be a little new nugget you can provide them of information, but they really have their system and processes down. They know what they're doing. It's the new operators or the new owners who are getting into the game who might not have all aspects of business or that go into running a business or a real estate asset successfully. They might not have all those down. They there's a lot of insurance professionals out there, but not all of them specialize. And very few specialize specifically in real estate and multifamily assets, and it's a very niche space. So I find fulfillment out of being able to educate and bring solutions and really create an exceptional client experience. So the new operators, um, people who feel like there maybe is some improvement they could do. So I look at the owners as, they're like a conductor. They're sitting at the top of this giant podium, and there's all these levers they can pull to improve the value of their asset. So this is a lever that you have an option to pull.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And so, if you imagine you had the magic lamp and the genie comes out, or Santa Claus, take your pick, whatever it is, how can people help you, Rama?
So one thing that really didn't think I'd value or find value in after college was the opportunity to keep learning and growing in my professional role. So people can best help me by challenging me. Bring me a challenge because that pushes me to grow. That makes me think, and again, that's what feeds me.
hmm I love that. That's fantastic. So all you have to do is stick around. And like as far as challenges go, hopping onto a podcast like this. It's a huge opportunity to think on your feet, especially like if you're on the insurance side. It's like you have to be able to know enough to be dangerous, but as far as like knowing who the sponsor is, knowing that it's like okay, well on paper they might be there in a more or less daily capacity, but maybe they aren't, and so a newbie like maybe they need to figure out a lot more without the direct intervention of that sponsor. But how do they reach out to help you in those public or professional ways?
So you can easily reach me at my email, which is my first name,
hmm
period, last name
hmm
at capnick.com. So that's Rama, period, Gupta at capnick.com. or you can text me, call me. Please don't send me a carrier pigeon. But my phone number is 517-894-5940.
All right, awesome. And we ended up meeting through some meetups that I found through LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn an effective way to reach you, or?
Absolutely. So if you just Google me, Rama, Gupta, Kapnick, LinkedIn, I'll be the first one there. Probably the only one too, but not the only one, but
All right, that's a beautiful thing. So we've just gone through who you help professionally, who you wish you could help more, how people can help you, and how to reach out to help you. But did you know that if somebody subscribes to my channel, that helps me?
well, I guess inadvertently I knew that, but it hadn't come to the forefront of my mind. So
Right, right. And the amazing thing is that subscribing to my YouTube channel is completely free. And all you have to do is there's a button and it's red over there. The big, massive, ugly, horrible red button. And the only way to get rid of that horrible button is you just click on it and it turns gray. And what it means is that YouTube ends up paying for these videos instead of me, so I can help other people get help. That's the whole idea. So you want to do that, right? You want me to help people, don't you?
absolutely. So anyone listening to this, if this hasn't been convincing enough to just hit that like and subscribe button, just do it. It costs you nothing.
Right, exactly, exactly. So thank you very much for coming in today. And you in the audience, you've done me an enormous favor by watching. You've done me an even bigger one by subscribing, which I'm sure you've already done, right? But thank you so much for joining me today, Raman. This has been great getting to know you a little bit better.
Thanks, Dan.
Awesome.
I just want to tell you because I've actually seen your website, Real Estate is a Scam, before, and I loved it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I think it's really so spot on. There's good stuff, bad stuff in every industry.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. For Dan the Man.
And thank you. Turn that subscribe button from red like his beard to gray like his beard will be.
So I met Dan through some networking groups for real estate investing. He's a great guy from what I know about him. He's very ambitious and he makes it easy to come on with his questions and has a great setup. It's easy, it's clear, concise, and I'd recommend going on his interviews for anyone that's considering it.
It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. It was super fun. The process was so easy, a caveman can do it. I mean, if you guys haven't done it yet, you guys need to get on his calendar. Just take 15 minutes of your time, get exposure, find out who Dan is, what he's about. He's a true trifecta. And if you don't know who he is, get in touch with him. Google his name, find him on LinkedIn, do whatever you can, just reach out to him.
So I really appreciate the format. Like I've told you a couple times before, I think it's really great because me personally, I'm very long-winded. I have to purposefully make things more concise, but the way I take things in is I definitely prefer things to be concise and straight to the point and concentrated. And the chance encounters really do that great for individuals. So you can get a good grasp on who they are, what do they do, why do they do it, what space do they operate in. That's why I love chance encounters.